Darkness rises, and light to meet it.
Welcome back to the Cave of Wonders, Dreamwalkers. I am your Sith Lord Callous for Lord Callous TV, and this is Lore and Legends, where I dive into Star Wars stories from the past. The dawn of the High Republic is upon us, so I wanted to briefly talk to you all about the events that were taking place in Legends during this time period. I believe the High Republic is set roughly 440 years before the Battle of Yavin. That is the New Hope time period. So let's go back 1,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. It's the Battle of Ruusan, where the Jedi, led by Lord Hoth, and the Sith, led by Lord Khan, fought 7 grueling ground battles that left both orders devastated and demoralized. Lord Khan's Brotherhood of Darkness lost all but 2 of the 7 battles, reducing their once fearsome army to 1/10 of its original size. Now, Darth Bane's Rule of Two was birthed during this battle. Rather than focus his attention on Lord Hoth's Jedi forces, he helped to gather all of the Sith Lords on a mountaintop, where he sharpened their energies into a force storm that destroyed the lush Ruusan landscape. Lord Khan used this opportunity to attack the Jedi, but one of the most devastating blows came from one of the Jedi's own recruits, an untrained boy named Tomcat. He killed one of the Jedi generals with his own lightsaber, and then defected to the Brotherhood of Darkness. Unfortunately, the storm was not enough, and the power of the dark side was driving Lord Khan mad. Through the counsel of Lord Bane, Khan and his disciples gathered in their underground chambers and used their powers to create a thought bomb, a volatile cauldron of seething force energy. The next morning, Lord Hoth and the Army of Light marched into the Brotherhood's encampment, past several heads and dangling Jedi corpses. For this final confrontation, the Lord of Darkness triggers the thought bomb, and to Darth Bane's delight, a furious explosion of energy annihilated nearly every member of both armies, sucking their disembodied spirits into an unbreakable state of equilibrium. Now, one of the last to survive, Bane sensed the latent power of a young girl named Rain, who happened to be the sister of that Jedi recruit, Tomcat, who defected to the Sith. Rain slipped into darkness while lost in the wilderness of Ruusan. Bane approached her as his potential apprentice after witnessing the 8-year-old girl destroy a Jedi Knight with only the Force. He told her to find her way to Onderon if she wished to continue her journey as a Sith. On Onderon's dark side moon, Duxon, Bane meditated on the power of the Sith in Freedon Nad's tomb. There, barnacle-like obelisks covered his body in a permanent suit of living armor. Through the teachings of Darth Revan's holocron, Bane believed that he had discovered the secret to the Sith's continued survival. Too many Sith Lords spread the energy of the dark side too thin, while also inviting power struggles. But the rule of 2, one master and one apprentice, one to embody the power, the other to crave it, that would allow the Sith to dwell in the shadows until they had consolidated their power and the time was right to reveal themselves again to the galaxy. Darth Bane retrieved Rain from Onderon, and she became his apprentice, Darth Zana. Meanwhile, the Jedi could not free the spirits from the valley that encircled the Ruusan battle site. At the request of Lord Hoth's former apprentice, the Senate erected a memorial on those grounds, and the Valley of the Jedi soon boasted towering statuary and memorial inscriptions. But the Jedi Order wished to forget its failure and deleted most mentions of the Battle of Ruusan from their archives. Now, Ruusan would be all but forgotten within a few centuries, except for the prophecy made by Ruusan's natives that read, "A night will come, a battle will be fought, and the prisoners go free." That prophecy would remain unfulfilled until a year after the Battle of Endor, or 4 ABY, when Kyle Katarn battled the Dark Jedi, Jarek. The Republic considered the Battle of Ruusan a victory. The Sith continued to wait in isolation for their chance to strike back against the Jedi. And Yoda was born in 896 BBY. He would shape the Jedi Order during this era. And even without the influence of the Sith, some Jedi were occasionally seduced to the dark side. The Council rarely executed these Jedi Knights and instead banished them in hopes that their isolation might force them to remember their teachings and return to the light. So let's move ahead to 600 years before the Battle of Yavin, when a fallen Jedi named Alia was exiled to the savage planet Dathomir, which at the time served as a prison colony for some of the Republic's worst criminals. Alia used the Force to subjugate the other prisoners and to tame Dathomir's feral rancors. Over time, she had many daughters, all whom she trained to use the Force. Eventually, a female-dominant society took shape and became known as the Force Witches of Dathomir. And in 490 BBY, the economic forces continued to shape the Republic. The corporate sector was established in the fringes, where companies could buy and manage entire star systems in an early attempt at founding a free trade zone. In 470 BBY, the Corellian sector temporarily withdrew from the Republic in a short-lived effort at territorial independence. Then in 330 BBY, the Trade Federation, dominated by the Nemoidians, became known for its greed. Now, approximately 400 years before the Battle of Yavin, a Hutt Jedi hopeful named Baldorian, the Splendid, traveled to Nam Chorios and discovered that the planet's crystal energy magnified his force powers. Baldorian set himself up as a petty local dictator. Elsewhere, a Kushiban Jedi named Ikrit traveled to Yavin 4 and discovered the golden sphere that Exar Kun had created thousands of years earlier. Realizing that he was incapable of freeing the Massassi spirits trapped within the orb, Ikrit placed himself in force stasis to await the arrival of the one who could break the curse. Then in 380 BBY, the Corellian Jedi Kyron Halcyon defeated the Afarathu terrorists, a radical group of Salonians who wanted to eliminate humans from within the Corellian system. Then 40 years later, the Dathomir witches came to the Republic's attention in 340 BBY, when the Jedi training vessel Chuunthor crashed on the planet's surface. Jedi Masters Grattan, Valutan, and Yoda, along with many Jedi Knights and Acolytes, attempted to rescue the Chuunthor's passengers by battling the native spellcasters. On a return visit, Yoda used his insight to negotiate a peaceful settlement with the leader of the witches. Then the Mandalorian warrior clans committed the greatest crime of this era, having defeated the Ithulins in a war in 200 BBY. The Mandalorians then went on to exterminate the entire Ithulin species. Unfortunately, again, the Jedi Council did nothing in response to the genocide, and several rogue Jedi allied with the Bounty Hunters Guild to take down the ruling Mandalore. And that leaves us roughly 160 years before the events of the Phantom Menace, and smack dab in the middle of this new High Republic era. So join me next time as we discuss more lore and legends. If you're new here to the channel, subscribe and hit that like button, then turn on notifications so you can join the Dreamwalkers on our journey. I'd like to thank my channel members John Matrix, Rhodes Rants, Biggles Metz, Callisto Arcus, and Keaton Haas. Thank you so much for your support. Remember, peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion I gain strength. Through strength I gain power. Through power I gain victory, and through victory my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. And that is why I do what I love. And I hope you love what I do. This has been Lore and Legends. Until next time.